You know, I'm just vibing in this Discord. I have no idea if this is actually to make it on YouTube, but this music. It's very weird because I genuinely don't know if this is going on YouTube. But how's it going, guys? If this ends up on YouTube, this is the Q&A for NASCAR 25. Matt from iRacing is going to be speaking. As you can see, I made myself visible as a Joe. Joey, what's up? Everyone in here in the chat. If you see yourself in the chat, what's up? Where was Gary? I saw Gary in here. Where was he? There he is. Gio and right there. Anyone else I recognize? It's all that I think I know. But yeah, there's 114 people so far. What is this music, man?
Every evolution of NASCAR video game for that long is really amazing, and it really just proves that we're in such great hands. And I think you even saying EA probably perked a lot of ears, because those are games that so much nostalgia comes into that. So how do you kind of
EA is
lean
not
on
what it
the
used to be, though.
experience that you've had there, and what can you tell us about
EA.
what we're going to see here
20
with this
years
rollout?
ago, it was nice.
To trust
I
from
need
them.
all of you to support Arsenal.
This is 100%
FC.
iRacing. I mean, as I said,
I put Arsenal. That does not work.
Come from
oh no,
different
Arsenal
angles,
FC.
But
Thank you.
The
I'm promoting my club.
Obviously, a lot of the visual damage and a lot of those things have been taken from the sim, and we'll get into some of those questions a little later on tactically how we did it. But
visual damage will be
I mean
from the sim. So damage
in console
model
again,
from the
it's
sim?
a little bit different, right? So you have levels of
good,
damage.
then.
You have sort of this notion of visual only, where it doesn't really hurt you. Like, it's not going to have a physical effect on your car. And then you've got light damage, which sort of takes some percentage of the damage away, but not as much as full damage. And then you have obviously the full damage, which would be.
I don't want to upload the entire Q&A, so I'm not sure how I'm going to
for the most
this,
part,
but I'll try to pick the most important
parts,
because I don't know how long this is going to take. And plus, I have to actually go at 3:30, so.
Okay, because I know that was one of the questions that had come in preemptively.
We'll try to get the best information for
when
you.
we see damage on a car, will that affect? How similar is it truly to iRacing? What are some of the similarities that we can expect to see? And quite honestly, what are some of the differences that we can look forward to?
Differences between iRacing and the console
all
game.
The tracks, all the car models, all of the assets that we're using are literally coming from the sim.
There you go.
If you're not really on the sim and you're a fan of what iRacing's doing, you've noticed that, for example, they've done this huge update with the tracks, right? All of the NASCAR track, 30-something tracks. They've been in the process of updating, and the bulk of the reason for doing that was to use them in the NASCAR 25 console game as well. And so, when's the game coming out? Why is there no gameplay trailer? Like, 65-70% of the questions were some version of those two things, right? And I've already seen it a million times in the chat. Here's what I would say. So all along, we've told you guys this fall. All of you have assumed, we can read the comments, that it's going to be September or October. That is correct. Like, there is no question it will
September,
be
October.
Late September, early October. We just don't have an exact date yet, because it's a myriad of factors. You have to figure out your submission dates with Sony and Microsoft. You've got to figure out your pre-order windows. You got to do all those things. And some of those things aren't 100% in our control. So I'm telling you all, live on the stream, it's going to be late September to early October. So we're in the matter of a couple of weeks there.
There you go.
We will have a hard date very soon, probably in the next couple of weeks. I would say definitely
12th?
By the end of June, we will have a firm date. But there's no panic. There's
there you
no
go. End of June,
going off.
firm date for the release date.
Everything's right on track. We shouldn't be concerned at all. But even though we can't get a visual, can you give us some insight? I know personally in my research, one of the big questions people have about what to expect would be the career mode. How extensive is the career mode? What are some of the options? Is this driver only? Can we own race cars? Can you give us a little bit of insight as to what we're going to potentially see there?
Career mode.
Sure. So
I don't know how much you could actually go into this.
There's going to be, I mean, the general structure is similar to historically sort of what we've done, right? You're going to start your own team, build your own paint schemes, really sort of start in your backyard garage, right? Your first opportunity is going to be in an ARCA car, work your way through trucks to Xfinity, all the way up to Cup. So the the general structure and the general goal is going to be similar to what's been in the past. What's different is a lot of the presentation elements, so I'll give you one example. You know, the point of these things is to not spoil the whole game either. So we're going to kind of do drips and drabs here, but I'll give you one example, which is something that I think is really cool. And I don't remember this ever happening in a console game, but when you get to the point where, let's say you're running a truck and a cup car at the same time, and you go to a track where all the events are at the same track, instead of race weekend sort of just being focused on an individual series and you're kind of bouncing back to the career main menu, everything's going to be in that race weekend. So when you first go in there, you're going to see like, oh, I have cup practice, and then I have truck qualifying, and then I have cup qualifying, and you sort of run those events all in a row, just like they do in the real world. And so that's a pretty big departure from what we've done in the past. Presentation wise, there's a lot more cutscenes. There's a lot more pre-race sort of emotion, and we use these words, immersion and emotion. That's what it's all about.
That's
right?
interesting. I think they're using the SSD in the consoles.
What does it feel like to be an actual driver,
to load in trucks and cup
at the racetrack on race weekend? What are the emotions you go through as you go through all these stages? So tons and tons of presentation differences. And then I think the big one that, again, I just want to tease and not give away too much, but there's a notion of turning points in career, and we present those to you through a really unique system featuring Dale Jr. and some of his podcast stuff that he does. But the coolest part is you're only going to get maybe 3 or 4 of those in your entire career, right? But from a replayability perspective, you could then go back and play career and have these sort of big moments happen differently every time you play career, right? And so an example would be maybe you've had a string of a couple of bad races, and your PR agent comes on after one of those races and she says, hey, you've got this opportunity to go be in a movie, right? And the movie's going to give you X number of dollars, maybe some reputation points, or maybe something to help you down the road.
That's like the UI screen we saw.
Or you could go to the shop and you could spend some extra time at the shop this week, and that might build the relationship with your crew guys, and that may make your car a little better for that weekend, or make your pit stops a little faster because there's some camaraderie going on. Like those kind of like A/B decisions that have a risk reward mechanism and have some benefit to you down the road in career. Those are all brand new as well.
I'm interested.
It excites me the way that you describe some of the priorities that you guys had in developing this, when you talk about really just capturing the energy and the air and ambiance of not only race day and preparing to take on a race, but these career moments, and not to multiplayer. What is that going to look like on this game, and what were some of the priorities there in developing that side of gameplay?
Come on. Tell me about multiplayer, Matt.
Yep. So, full fields. So, Field Max in every series applies and online.
Wow, full fields.
All 4 series will be available. What else did I see asked? AI cars. There were some questions about, can I race
AI cars available in multiplayer?
Yes, you can. Private lobbies. That's another big.
Private lobbies are in.
Big question I've seen a lot. We'll definitely have private lobbies, and then. Again, there's some plans that we're still working on with maybe some weekly sort of special events and things like that.
Tournaments and competitions
on that in the future.
I realize I should have asked this in our discussion, and I moved on too quickly. We expect to see the faces that we see on Saturdays and Sundays in those series. Is ARCA going to be the same way? Are we going to have
Thank
ARCA
God that was
drivers in the
announced
game?
a minute before I have to go. Guys,
yeah, so
I'm going to miss a little bit of this. I'm still going to upload this to
YouTube.
If I'm back in time before this ends, then I'll see if I can come back, but it's 3:30. I got to leave. I have a meeting. Remember, I actually work for NASCAR. I have a meeting. I'm sorry. All right, guys, I have no idea how I probably edited that video because I haven't done it yet. I have just finished watching the rest of the Q&A. I had to quickly log off because real life work, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, but I do have some notes. Shout out Joey Stone. Thank you very much. Joey was like live tweeting it. Like, like when the NFL draft is on and you have like Adam Schefter saying like all this stuff about, this pick, that pick. Joey was basically saying confirmed this, confirmed that. He was just aggregating the news. So while I was not able to watch like 20 minutes of the Q&A, he was keeping me up to date. But I did take some notes here when I was able to get back onto that Q&A. And so I'm going to go through that with you guys. So you saw what Matt was talking about from the beginning. A lot of the same stuff he talked there is what I knew about earlier as well. But let's go through some of the things. I wrote it down. So initially, I don't want to start a negative, but a negative. No cross-platform. So if you are on PC, you cannot race with someone on PS5 or Xbox. If you're on PS5, you can't race with someone on PC or Xbox. And if you're on Xbox, you can't race with someone on PlayStation or PC. So a little bit of a negative there. I would expect cross-platform to come in the future, but again, this is their first game, and from a technical standpoint, they were not able to get that rolling. And as you saw in the previously edited, I just caught the online stuff before I had to log off. So private lobbies, full multiplayer fields, all that stuff. Private lobbies by far is the best part of that. So very happy to see that. Difficulty settings. There will be 6 different preset settings, and you can adjust the pack size and stuff like that. So similar to Heat 5. That was just an example that Matt gave. So it will be similar to NASCAR Heat 5 in terms of tire wear settings, fuel settings, pack settings, contact settings, maybe even draft settings. Very similar, but updated, right? It's going to be an updated version of that. As I was playing NASCAR Heat 5 the other day, I said I kind of didn't want that in the game, just kind of fine-tune the AI. But another thing is, I also said I kind of don't want the AI to be changed from NASCAR Heat 5. The best point or the best part of the NASCAR Heat games was the AI. So now if you fix the driving physics and you fix the graphics and you have more features, but then you just have very similar AI, that would actually be a good thing, because the AI in NASCAR Heat was very good. I was very happy with them. So if you can adjust them as well, that would be nice. And yeah, I just hope the contact physics system is good off the bat. So that way, like if I make contact with someone, they just don't go into a random spin like they do in NASCAR Heat 5. So that was very frustrating sometimes. But we'll see in the settings there. DLC. So I think it's over 400 paint schemes when it's all said and done. That's not 400 paint schemes on release. So there will be DLC with paint schemes. This is not really any breaking news. I think we all knew this. It's just kind of confirmed now by Matt. So when it's all said and done, it'll be somewhere around 400. The main guys might have multiple paint schemes, but everyone will have at least one. And then just going off of that, there will be around 190 total licensed drivers. And I remember catching that I think over 50 are from ARCA. So they have a lot of smaller ARCA drivers. Then you have the truck drivers, Xfinity drivers, and Cup drivers, but a lot of licensed drivers. So if you want to race with someone, they most likely will be in the game. There will be a gold edition. So again, it's going to be similar to the NASCAR Heat model. There will be a standard edition. There will be a gold edition, and the gold edition, we don't really know what it would be, but in terms of what would be edition, will you get to play it 3 days early? He didn't go into any of that stuff, but there will be a gold edition that should probably cost anywhere between $10 to $20 more. We'll see where that goes. Part of the DLC that they've thought about putting in there, that's not paint schemes. So part of the DLC, this is not confirmed that it's in, but Matt just mentioned it. There could be a golden part, like a golden R&D part for career mode. So stuff for career mode. There could be a extra, you start with extra cash at the start of career mode to help you out as well. So that could be a pre-order incentive that they might put there as well. So will be cash, could be a golden R&D part. So that is some other ways they're trying to figure out how to monetize the game. Now that does not go into multiplayer. So this is not pay to win. You're not going to get a golden part to go to multiplayer and then win all the races. This is solely for single player career mode. And it's, if you want, you don't have to. And then maybe I don't know if they'll do this. Matt didn't mention it at all, but if there is an option, a pre-order incentive to, start with extra cash, maybe there's a menu there. I don't know if there'd be in this game, but in the future where you could purchase extra cash with real life money. I don't think that's harmful. It is microtransaction, but it's not online. It's not FIFA online. You're not competing against someone online. As long as the microtransactions stay away from online and they're either career mode only or cosmetic, I'm completely okay with that. And guys, you should be okay with that too. Listen, NASCAR games don't make the most money compared to all the other sports, okay? If you want iRacing to continue making these games, this is not me just being a shill for them. You need to actually support them. If it's a good game, you need to purchase the game. If you like it, if you want to, purchase a suit or helmet. Now, again, I don't think there's going to be suits or helmets in DLC, but in the future there might be. depending on what they could do to monetize. Like, you have to think of ways, how can you monetize this game without being pay to win, without using dirty tactics like casino tactics that other sports games use. Then we'll see what they do, and then if you like it, then you support it. So I'm fully on board that. I mean, I would, even if I was working there, I'd be pushing that idea, because again, you don't have to buy it. It's not pay to win. If you don't want to buy it, you don't have to. And there is a car creator, so you can customize helmets and suits yourself. He also did mention something about haulers, so you could customize your own team hauler. Again, career mode is where like this game is really centric based. It seems like track and series. So there will be more detail in July when tracks, they'll release like a track list. However, we've known this, and I've told you guys this in all the videos. All the tracks are coming directly from the sim. So you can kind of get an idea for yourself what the track list is. Just go on iRacing and do you see, does a NASCAR series go there? Lime Rock Park, Rockingham, does a series go there? Nashville Superspeedway, North Wilkesboro, Daytona. Does a series go there? It's probably in the game. Does a series not go there? It might not be in the game. Now, iRacing does have a lot of different tracks, right? So could they put something in that NASCAR doesn't go to? I don't know. I don't know if the licensing works with that. I don't think they can. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But the tracks will come directly from the sim. They'll give you a track list sometime in July, but you could probably do it yourself if you just hop on iRacing and look at the tracks. It's not very complicated, to be honest. Next up, the soundtrack. So this is something new that Matt mentioned. Dale Jr. had a very big influence on the soundtrack. He basically took the ball and ran with it. He wanted to ask them, like, how could I help? How could I help? And they said, Dale Jr. is a very big aux guy. They literally gave him the aux. So Dale Jr. is the guy that basically came up with the soundtrack. He put the ideas together, and I'm assuming the team took care of the legalities and all that stuff to make sure it was possible. So soundtrack created basically by Dale Jr. So we'll see how the soundtrack is. Legacy drivers, challenge is purely the rights. This is nothing new. This has been the same case for as long as I've been doing YouTube, as long as you've been alive, probably. It's very difficult to get the rights for legacy drivers because the drivers don't technically own the rights to these things, right? Like a paint scheme or a car number or a race team that might not exist anymore. It's very difficult. If you guys know about the story about how hard it was for Dale Earnhardt Jr. just to run a number 8 Budweiser car. He was able to do it in a late model just this past year. It took him how long to get the rights back to the number 8? So if Dale Jr. has that kind of trouble, just think about what iRacing has to go through. So yeah, it's really difficult to get people like legacy drivers. However, they were able to get Jeff Gordon, right? Tony Stewart. They were able to get those guys in NASCAR 85. Jeff Gordon is still aligned with Hendrick Motorsports. He's the vice president now. So could you maybe see Jeff Gordon? Maybe, because it would be easier because he's with Hendrick Motorsports, and Hendrick still owns the 24, right? And it would be a little bit easier to do it that way. I think Exalta is still currently with William Byron as well. Could you make like a throwback DuPont paint scheme? Probably not, because DuPont, the name changed to Exalta. I don't know, but there's ways you can do it, right? So we'll see if maybe Gordon could be in the game or something like that. But like for Earnhardt Sr., Richard Petty, Darrell Waltrip, all these legends, right? Rusty Wallace. It's likely not possible for a long time, and maybe ever, just because of how challenging it is to get these rights and how many different avenues you have to go through. Could it be possible one day? Maybe, but that's why when you guys ask for legacy drivers, just understand it's just really difficult, man. It's not really up to that. We would all want those, like NASCAR Thunder 2003, all the legacy drivers they had, but it was a different time back then. It's not the same as it is now. What else? So Matt talked about having a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan, and even a 10-year plan for the future of the series. I didn't know if I could say this, but basically they have the license for a while, and this will be a yearly release. I think they've already mentioned that. So NASCAR 25, NASCAR 26, NASCAR 27. They have a plan, and NASCAR 25 is the base game. They want to make sure this game has its base right so they can continue to build on it. No surprises there. So that's all good there. And now for information coming in the future. So he did drop some dates and stuff in terms of when the game would be ready. So I think I already mentioned earlier in the video, you guys saw it, the release date being sometime around late September to October. So I was thinking mid-September, but late September to early October, somewhere around there. So figure out a mark there. That's where it's going to release. Gameplay trailer, he mentioned late August. So they're going to go with the route that college football and Madden do. So they're going to go about a month before for gameplay trailer. Now, that does not mean that you're not going to see anything before then. So the screenshots would be in a July window. So next month in July, we should see some screenshots, some first look at the game, but it wouldn't technically be gameplay. Like an actual gameplay trailer of someone driving on the track and stuff like that would be in late August. So that is the time zone there. So he cleared that up. Driver roster will be in the next month and a half, somewhere around that time window, along with track lists in July as well. So over the course of the next month to a month and a half, you will have your track list, you will have your driver roster, you will have some screenshots, and they will think about doing the Discord Q&A as well again, maybe with some other people as well. Other than that, you have full pit options, like you could take left sides only, right sides only, fuel only, and all NASCAR rules and all the normal licensing stuff that NASCAR has. Stages and all that. That is what I have in my notes, in addition to what we saw earlier in the Q&A. So yeah, a good amount of information. Nothing honestly that surprising. Matt was setting expectations to be a little bit later, right? I was thinking, in the summer, but they're pushing that gameplay trailer later on. Will they do a teaser trailer? We don't know, but here's the thing that the main message was, is that and this is true, I can confirm this as well. The game is ready, guys. So they have to hit a certain date, and that date is coming soon, because the game needs to go through multiple approval processes via PlayStation and Xbox and stuff like that. And so they need to have that, they need to hit that, and the game needs to be ready to go on that date, so then it can go through all the approval processes. That date is coming very soon. So the game it's ready to go. It's not, I wouldn't say 100% done, but it is in the end stages of getting all that stuff done. So Matt was just reiterating that late September, early October, that will be the release date window, and there'll be a release date announcement sometime next month. He said before the end of June. So you'll get your release date announcement before the end of June, screenshots in July, driver roster track list in July, gameplay trailer in August. So you guys know the layout. So if you're just patient enough, you know the layout for how it's going to go. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram already. Subscribe if you're new. And thank you guys as always. We are on the road to NASCAR 25, guys. I've waited many years for this. NASCAR 21 was the last time a new NASCAR game released. 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. 4 years later with no new content. I have been starving at the mouth, salivating, as they might say. I am massively thirsty for some 25 content, and I am sure you guys are as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. It should be a very fun time for the channel. Make sure you subscribe, and yeah, we'll have more also iRacing content coming up, because Gen 4 just came out, so we'll be on iRacing as well. Take care of yourselves. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.